Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create these super fleeky snatched brows. I have done a separate tutorial on how I create my more fluffy brows, which is more of my daytime kind of brows, but this is for like a nighttime full glam, going for that extra snatched poppin' look. If you want to see how I create these brows, then keep watching. I'm going to start with my Benefit push-up liner in Beyond Brown, and I have talked quite a lot about this product in my fluffy brow tutorial. It's got some product on the end, and I'm going to start by drawing some hair-like strokes from the middle of my brow up until the arch. As you can see, that is where my arch is. When I kind of lift my head up like that, you can see the kind of dint, and that's where my arch is. So I draw under my arch in the shape that I want, and just do a line like that down. And then I'm going to go and do the top bit. I don't want my brows too thick, and I think these hairs are a bit thick, so I'm going to go a little bit lower than when they finish. And join that to the end like that. I'm going to darken this bottom one back up. I don't want it too kind of steep down, so this is why I'm kind of extending this and making it a bit kind of longer, and I don't want as kind of a steep angle with my brow. And then I'll just go and join that top one to the end like that. And then I'm a bit happier with that shape. Then I'm going to go and fill this in, again trying to use hair-like strokes. And then when you kind of get to this point, the angle of the hairs needs to be going in the direction of the brow, so all kind of following this point. And because this is a more snatched brow, we are kind of just more filling in as opposed to drawing those hair strokes. You can kind of see the hair strokes within it. And it does look a little bit wild right now, but like my other video, I will go ahead and clean it up with a baby wipe. So I'm just going to go and do the other side, then I will clean it up. Kind of just trying to follow the angle of this one. Obviously I might not get it bang on straight away, but we can go ahead and change it after. There, so I've just followed the same steps on that brow as I did on that one. I'm just going to go and grab a baby wipe, and I'm first going to take it underneath my brow and clean that up. And you want this to kind of be a nice straight line from the start of your brow up to your tip. So I've just removed that original line. Now I'm going to go across the top, and again I get a clean bit of baby wipe, wrap it around my finger, and I'm just going to press down into the top of my brows like this, not on top of every one, kind of in between most of the hairs. I'm going to join that height to this bit where it's starting to fill in on my arc. Don't worry if you've took too much off, because we will go back in. I'm going to get my brow product and just fill in where I think it needs filled back in a bit more. So some of these hairs, I just want them to be a bit more filled in. Just making sure the lines are nice and crisp and smooth. Then I'm going to go and do the same on the other side, and the same cleaning process. Make sure these two line up here, because you don't want them to be opposite sides of the world. I mean, they are sisters. They don't have to be twins, but they are sisters. When I do this side, I kind of compare it. I kind of do quick shots between the two just to try and match them as I'm going. Then once I'm kind of happy with them, I'm just going to go in, see if there's anywhere that needs touched up a little bit. This is where you really want to compare the two together. But don't worry if they're not perfect, because honestly, I have my days. I struggle completely with them, and I have days where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have to deal with it. They're just going to have to be all over the place. And they're literally like... But yeah, just be patient with it and keep trying. I'm happy with how they are right now. So now I'm gonna add in my concealer, and this is definitely my favourite step, just to get them looking lovely and snatched and on point. Okay, so I'm gonna use this Plouise flat brush, and I'm gonna nip it just to make sure it's nice and pointed and snatched on the end, and this helps create and carve out your brows really easy. So I'm gonna use the Collection concealer, and this is in the colour Extra Fair. You want like a full coverage concealer, or you could use the Plouise base to carve out your brows. And I start from the beginning, and I kind of don't start directly on the line of my eyebrow. I come a little bit under first, in case you do go too high up or whatever, to kind of work my way up to it. And I drag some product down first, just so I've got enough product there. And then I start directly under the line of the brow. I've got a really shaky hand today. But when I watch this step on Instagram and YouTube and things like that, this step is literally my favourite. I think it's just so therapeutic to watch. I absolutely love it. And then drag the product down. I'll just go ahead and do the other side. You can see just how much of a difference that makes to your brows and making them get that extra snatched look. I will just post right now a before carving out your brows and after, just so you can see the difference that it makes. Just look at how defined and snatched it now makes your brows look. So this is definitely a step that you want to include if you're going for that snatched look. I'm going to take a big fluffy blending brush. It's just kind of a smaller one used on your eyes. And just blend out those edges so there's no harsh lines, and it just blends really nicely into the rest of your makeup. When you are carving out your brows, I like to go for a bit of a lighter colour than my skin and what I would use on my foundation, just because it kind of highlights it a bit and accentuates your brows, and that again gives that snatched look. So what you also want to do for that snatched look is you want to grab a highlighter and you want to add it to your brow bone. I'm going to go for the Iconic London Luminous Powder. The NYX Matte Liquid Liner, and I just add in a few darker hairs just to the very ends. As you can see, this kind of adds a few hairs into the end and it gives that kind of hair-like definition into the ends where it's a bit more coloured in, and also it gives that more ombre effect that I'm looking for. If you do run over the edges with that black, don't worry, just take the brush that you use to carve out your brows. Make sure you nip the end and just run it over where you've just went over your brow a little bit. So yeah, I will resume back once I've done all of my makeup and show you the finished look. So that is the end of my Snatched brow tutorial. I hope you found it useful and you've learned how to create those super fleeky brows that you're longing and searching for. This kind of brow, it's a brow that I would do for going out. My fluffy brow is definitely one for more of a daytime look, but this is a brow that I go for if I'm going for that nice snatched popping look. I think eyebrows are such a personal thing as well though. So this might work for some and it might not work for others, but it's just a way that I do them, and a lot of alopecia sufferers might be able to benefit from this tutorial and just kind of learn a way of how they can now do their brows and make them look super snatched, fleeky, and just kind of make them look a bit realistic. I think the most important thing with makeup when you do have alopecia is trying to create those hair-like strokes. If you just draw them on and create this ombre eyebrow, like, it might look really nice, and that is what kind of looks a little less realistic, just because it is very flat and normal eyebrows are hairy and they do have more texture on them. So it is just trying to create that 3D kind of effect with your eyebrows and just make them look like you have eyebrows, like you have eyebrow hairs. Be that absolute catfish that you want to be. I call myself a catfish all the time. If you just look at how I start on this video and how I end, I am #1 catfish. But you know, ain't my problem. Yes, that's the end of the video. Please join me in my next tutorials, and please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.